Hey everyone, welcome to Notion Books Freelancers OS. This is basically a dashboard where freelancers can track all their income, expense details, their entire finances, and this also has a dashboard to help them out with the client management as well. Okay, so once you download this entire setup, you will end up on this page that you are currently seeing on screen. Over here you have like a quick set of instructions which tells you about how can you change the currency in this dashboard. So once you click on this, you will find an entire video demonstration which explains the same, and after that you will find a quick tutorial on how you can use the finance setup that we have over here on screen. So this has basically two navigation windows. Currently we are in under the finance section, so as you can see it is mentioned over here as finance. Once you scroll down, you will see the navigation bar over here and it says client. Okay, so once you click on client, it takes you to another dashboard which has all the client management portal and systems available as well. So I'll be explaining this part just in a bit. Before that, I want to tell you a few things. So let me quickly navigate back to the finance section. So now we are in the finance section, and I'm going to tell a few things that you need to take into consideration before heading over to the client section. Okay, so if you are not familiar with how you can use the entire finance system, I recommend you watching this video that is put over here. So once you click on this and once you click over here, it will provide you a YouTube link description which will explain the entire tutorial on how you can use the finance section. But just quick things that I want to mention: any income that you want to book which is in relation to your client income, that you can simply add over here and you can classify it as client. Okay, so any classification that you put under client, or even if you want to make your own classification, you can simply do that. For the sake of simplicity, I have classified this income as client, so I'm just quickly adding a new income to show how it is being done. So let's say I'm clicking on new income over here, and I will maybe specify income name. So I'm just typing it as client income. Okay, just to give a demonstration. So I'm just putting in client income, and then you can click on this classification and select client. If you want to add your own option, you can directly type out that same stuff and you can create a new classification of your own. Okay, but for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm just putting it under client. So once I select client, it will automatically show these two income under the client section, which we will be discussing after a few minutes. So this is the first step that you need to follow. The next thing that you need to remember is all the income transactions that you will book after you follow the instructions for how you will use the finance setup. This will reflect in the client portal that we are about to see right now. Okay, provided all the incomes are classified under client. Okay, so these are the two things that you must consider before heading over to the client portal. Okay, now we have talked enough about the finance setup. Let's navigate to the client section to understand more. Now it's time to navigate to the client section and we will discuss more about this. So I'm just clicking on this client and under this navigation. Once you click on this, you will be headed over to the client section. So you can just navigate back and forth by clicking on this navigation, and now we will discuss what you will have under the client section. So under the client section, we have like four things at the very outset. First is the invoicing details, then we have all the client details, then we have the project details, like the projects that we are going to perform, and then we have the services section. So this shows the services that you're going to offer to the client and all the relevant details. Okay, underneath this we have the tools section. So we have a resources section where you can put all our resources under one category. Then we have the contacts. So here you can put all the contact details that you are going to use in your business. Then we have a goals section. So this is something which is not related to your business, or you can put it within your business. So some goals that you can put over here. And then we have a calendar. So this is like the meeting schedule that you have for the month, and everything you can get in one glance. Okay, so we'll be discussing this one by one. And finally, underneath all of this, we have the workflow detail. If you remember, I had specified that any income that goes for the client, you can classify that as client. There was a reason for that, because here we have filtered all the classification that goes under the client. Okay, so if you put your own classification underneath any specific income in the finance section, you can simply click on this filter and filter your own classification as per your need. Okay, so all the incomes that are going under the client, these have been displayed over here. Okay, so this does not include any salary income or any income which does not come from client side. After this, we will be putting all the invoice details, the client details, the project details and services. So I'll take you through this step by step. but first of all let me give you a quick overview from the very beginning. So first of all, to start with, we will be putting all the client details that we have in the current business. So for any client, they have like this three pipeline. So anyone who is a lead, they can come under the lead pipeline, or anyone who is falling under the negotiation uh, process, they are under negotiation, and anyone who is currently our client, they can come under the client section. Okay, so any category that where you want to add a new client, you can simply click on this new option over here. Once you click on this, it will quickly add a new client detail. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly add a client under the client window only. So I'm just clicking new over here. Then it asks you the client name, so you can specify any client name. So maybe I'm putting something as name. Okay, then underneath this it reflects the invoice amount. Invoice amount is how much invoice you have put against this client, so that amount is reflected over here. This amount is pulled from whatever information you will feed underneath over here. So I will discuss this in a detail after I give an overview of all of this. So if you notice over here, I have put this $2,000 and $1,000 against the client A with two invoices 1 and 2 respectively. So that is why client A is reflecting $3,000 over here. Okay, so just a quick example, if I change this from client A to maybe client B, so I'll first remove this, then I will change it to maybe client B or maybe client C. So once I do this, so you will notice that client C now has $1,000 invoice over here, and the client A reflects $2,000. Okay, so this is how it works in conjunction with whatever you do over here. Okay, so discussing further, so what you can do is, if you do not happen to see all the options, you will need to click on this edit button. Once you click over here, you will be reflected all the options. Okay, so then we have the contract value. So this is to be put by the user. So whatever contract value you have fixed with the client, you can just simply click on this and put the value of the contract over here, and it will automatically update with all the invoice amounts that you receive with time to time in the corresponding percentage. Okay, just to give a demonstration, for client A we had a contract value of $12,000 and we have raised the invoice of $2,000. Okay, so this is like 17% of work which has been invoiced, meaning 17% of $12,000 of contract value has been invoiced. Okay, so these are the three quick parameters that you can see underneath any client. Now a quick thing to note over here is that once you click on any of this client, it opens up a new window where you will see all the important details that you can still add. So for each of the client, we have like company, the contact detail, the email address, the position, the stage which is reflected over here, the website details. Okay, and this is something you can ignore, so this need not be looked into. So you can click on this and you can hide this option. So I will show you more details what is there. Underneath each of the client, you will have all the work related details. So basically this is showing that you had booked a side hustle income which was of invoice 1, and that value is to $2,000. Okay, and that invoice is currently under draft status. So we will be discussing what the status is under the invoice section, which we'll talk after this. So first let me clarify on this point. So these are the information that you can pull through. Okay, now if you click on this 4 more properties, it opens up more things. So you need not consider all these things because these are all the things that are related to this database. So this is not important for you. Contract value is something which I already told about, which is written over here. So you can simply hide these properties and you can edit all these properties on the go. So any client you add, you simply need to click on that client and you will be able to edit all the stuff that is being displayed inside it. Okay, so this is how you will be able to add all the client details one by one. So and that is how you will be able to put in all the client details underneath each section. Okay, now what if you have added a client information under the client pipeline but you wanted to put it actually under negotiating? Okay, what you can do is you can simply click on this and drag it to the specific category which you want to put over for this specific new added client, and you can leave it. So now it is classified under the negotiating category. Okay, this is how flexible Notion is, and this is how it helps you to classify any client under a different pipeline even after having added that client. Okay, so this was a quick demonstration on how you can add client details. Now I will help you along on how you can add the project and services part, and finally we will see the invoicing section. Okay, so for the timing I'm deleting this new added client, so I can just simply click on these 3 dots and I can delete. Again, just to remind you, if you want to edit any information, you can simply click on this pencil icon and you can start editing the information. Okay, so I'm deleting this part. Now we'll be looking into the projects and services section. So let's proceed further. Okay, so now we are under the project section. So projects are basically any kind of work that you're doing in order to fulfill one work order. So earlier we had discussed that you have taken a contract of $12,000. So let's assume that this contract is divided into multiple projects. So you can keep a track of all the projects that you have on hand in relation to one particular work that you're performing for a client. Okay, and projects have been set under different priorities. So like there is low priority project, that is medium priority, that is high priority. Okay, again, to add any new project, what you need to do is simply click on this new. So let's say I'm adding a project under high priority, so I'll click on new over here. Once you click on new, it starts asking few details over here. Okay, so first I need to specify the name of the project. So let's say I'm specifying project red, signifying it is really under high priority. So once I put under this a name over here, then I can add a project value to this. So as I mentioned that any specific work that you're performing for a client can have multiple projects associated. So let's say I'm performing this project for client C, so which is a total work order value of $3,000. Okay, so this project in itself is $1,000 project, so I'll put the value as $1,000. Okay, so I'll add over here, and I can assign a completion date. Okay, now to assign a completion date, there are two ways. The first thing that you need to remember is once you click on this, it will open up the calendar view. If you want to assign a date which goes like from a start date to an end date, what you need to do is you can simply click on this end date, and it will enable both the starting date and the ending date. Okay, so let's say I'm putting the start date and end date as maybe let's say September 16. Okay, I need to click on this, so maybe it's September 16, and the ending date is September 30. Okay, so now you can see that the total period of completion date is expected to end within September 16 to September 30. If you don't want to do this, you can simply click on this, you can remove the end date, and you can specify a particular date of your choice. Okay, this can also be done. So once this is done, then we have a status getting reflected over here. So you can click on this and you can update the status of the project. So currently this project has not started, so it is under not started status. So these are the basic parameters that you need to put for any particular project. Okay, again, just a reminder, multiple projects can be a part of one contract value for a client, or a single project can in itself be a one contract for a client. Okay, so as we saw in the client section, once you click on any project, you will find more details. So I'm just clicking on this project to show what more you can find over here. So inside this you have like the project completion, and this is dictated from few things which I will be telling you right away. So what we can, so let's check something that we have for the part which we have already added. This, since is a new project, nothing is displaying, so I'm just clicking on this to see more stuff. So what you find over here is like, so now we are going to see what properties can we find inside each of the projects that we just checked out in the client section. So I'm going to click on this project that was already added earlier to explain you further. So once you click on this, you will find the status of the project which is in progress, that is getting reflected over here. So then we have a priority, so this is a low priority project. So again, if you click on this and move to any of this other priority, it will get a new priority will be reassigned. So let's say I want to move it from low to medium priority, I just need to click on this and I will place it over here. Now it will have a medium priority. Okay, so once you click on this, it will reflect a medium priority. And similarly, if you want to update the status of the project, you can just simply click on this and you can update to any of the options that you have. If you want to set your own status over here, you can definitely edit each of these properties by clicking on this edit property, and you can click on this and you can redefine any of the names. Okay, so this is how you can edit out the property for each type. So meanwhile, once you click on this, you will find the completion date which we already discussed. Then we have a project completion. Okay, so this says that how much of a project has been completed. So we will be discussing how this is calculated. So in here, like, we have more properties at the bottom which need not be viewed because these are like relational properties which is not necessary, so you can hide these properties. So any project for a particular client can be looked in two ways. One is if you are specifying any hours for completion of this project, so you can specify the hours directly over here. Okay, so let's say this project A took 10 is estimated to take 10 hours, so you can simply put 10 hours over here, and then you will be able to calculate how much the project is completed by the actual hours that you will be booking. Okay, or else you can specify the total project value over here, and then you will have the invoices that are assigned to this project, which we have booked at the bottom. So if you see at the bottom in the workflow, for every invoice we have booked a project over here. Okay, so like project A has 2 invoices booked, which is a total value of $3,000, 2,000 plus 1,000, and this project in total had 6,000 as the project value. So 3,000 out of 6,000 is 50% of the project getting completed. Okay, so this completion percentage was calculated on the basis of total project value, but if you want to get it computed on the basis of hours that it took to complete, you can definitely specify the hours over here. So let's say I'm specifying 10 hours over here. Okay, once you specify the hours, you also need to book the actual hours. Okay, so you can see the actual hours count over here. Let's say this project took you 7 hours to complete. Okay, so the completion you have already completed 7 hours out of 10 estimated 10 hours, so you have completed 70% part of the project. Okay, so this is how your completion rate is calculated. So you can either go with hourly basis or you can go with the invoicing basis. Okay, if you want to simply take it on invoicing basis, you can simply click on this, you can delete this, and you can remove the hours as well. So once you delete all these properties, it will automatically compute on invoicing basis. Okay, so moving down, it again shows the work that was considered for this specific project. So I have like 2 incomes that are booked for this project, and it shows the client. Okay, so let's say it shows client A and client C. You remember we had changed this client C at the bottom. So if we click on this, we can again change it to client A. Okay, so let's say I'm clicking on this and I'm putting client A over here. So now I did project A for client A with 2 different services. Okay, we'll be discussing these services later on. So first of all, okay, so just going back over here, you can see that it is showing client A over here, and you provided these 2 services, each having an invoice value of $2,000 and $1,000 respectively. Okay, and this total was $3,000 and total project value was $6,000. So this is 50% of project that was completed and has been invoiced. Okay, so we have discussed the project part. Now let's move on to the services section, and I will help you along with what we can perform with the services part. So we have covered up the clients and the project section. Now for each client there can be multiple project, and for each project there can be multiple services. Okay, so this is how the chain follows. For each client there can be multiple project or one project, and for each project there can be multiple services or one service. So under the services section, again we have the services divided into 3 categories. That is a service which is not started yet, or services which are in progress, or services which are already completed and done. Okay, so I have simply specified 2 services over here. So if you click on let's say if you want to add a new service under the not started section, what I'll do is I'll click on this new button, and it starts asking you few details. Okay, so first is the service name. So let's say I'm specifying service name over here. Okay, and I can add a service pricing, like how I want to price the services. Okay, so I can put it on hourly basis or on a fixed flat rate fees. So again, you can modify these options as per your choice. You can simply click on this 3 dot and it will allow you to modify on your own. Just for the sake of demonstration, I'll keep it as simple as we have over here. So let's say I'm putting it under fixed fees, and then I can add a service rate. Okay, so for hourly basis, this means that it is $10 per hour. For fixed fees, this means that this service will be invoiced at $2,000 only. Okay, so over here I'm just like let's say it is fixed fee, I'm putting let's say 1,500. So this is how you added up the services part. Okay, again, if you want to move the services to any specific category, you can simply click on this and you can classify under any category. Okay, so I'm quickly deleting this and I'll showcase the things that we have already added. So we have added 2 services. So let's say I'm clicking on web development. Again, to give a reminder, you can edit the already added properties by clicking on this pencil button, and you can quickly edit all the stuff that we have over here. Okay, so I'll click on this. So once you click on this, you will find few things that is mentioned over here. So over here we have like the service duration. So how long do you expect to provide these services, by what deadline? So these are the dates assigned. Then you have the rate, the service pricing which we just discussed, the service status, and team members is something which is available in the 3rd edition of this product, where you will be able to track the team members will you actively working for each of the services. Okay, so as of now this does not support the team members part, but I'll be adding in the future, and I'll let you know through when it is added up. So this is something we can ignore for the time being. Then there are few more properties. So you're not so this shows like this specific service is given to which client and for which project. So we can see those things over here. So each service has all the work details, so it shows like the income that we have booked, the client to which the service is provided, and for which project for this client we have provided service, and the total amount of service value. Okay, so this quickly reflects all the things over here. So this is how you can assign any service for a specific project. So far we have covered up the client section, the project section, and the services part. Okay, now I'll be taking you through the invoicing section of how you can add an invoice and what you can do with it, and then we will be discussing more things that are present over here. Okay, so let's proceed further. So far we have covered up everything under the clients, projects, and services. Definitely all these three sections can be edited and can be customized as per your own requirement. Feel free to reach out to me if you are not able to do anything, and I'll help you out in this regard. Now we will be covering invoices section. So under invoicing we have like three parameters that is being set. So this shows the status of the invoice. So invoice which are under draft status can be put under here, invoices which have been sent can be put over here, and invoices which have been paid can be put over here. Okay, on top of this you have, it is reflecting something as the total invoice amount. So this is reflecting $3,000, which meaning invoice 1 has $2,000 value and invoice 2 has $1,000 value. If you want to see the number of invoices that are put under any specific category, you can simply click on this and you can count the unique values. Okay, so once you click on count the unique values, it will automatically reflect the number of invoices that have been assigned underneath each category. Okay, so I'm putting it back to where it was. You can click on sum and you can click on the invoice amount, so it will show the invoice amount over here. Now to quickly add a new invoice, let's say I'm adding an invoice under the sent category as a demonstration. You can add under any category of your choice. So I'll click on this new, then it will ask the invoice number. So we can follow up the invoicing naming convention. So let's say it is invoice 0003. Okay, and then I can simply so now it is asking for the invoice amount. Okay, so we will be feeding this invoice amount from the workflow that we have at the bottom. No need to worry about that as of now. Then this is the due date. Okay, so for any invoice, what is the due date you expect? So you can click on this and you can set any due date of your choice. So let's say I'm setting the due date on September 30. Today is like 5th of September 2023, as it is showing in red color. So I'm putting it as September 30. Okay, so once you click on this, it updates the due date over here. Okay, now a new invoice has been added, but we have not filled this invoice against any particular client or against any particular detail. So now is the time to see how you can start adding all the information that we have discussed so far under the workflow section. Okay, so under workflow you have all the details of income which we have carried forward from the finance view that we had started up with the discussion. So this is the client view that we're discussing. So these incomes are carried from the finance side. So again, if you're not clear on how to add all this income, you can see the instruction video we have under the finance section. It will explain everything. And just to add another information, this is only showing the income that we have assigned for the client part. Okay, it is filtered only for the client part. So for each of this income, you have like 4 columns added over here. First is the invoice column, where you can click and add any specific invoice that you have just that we have over here. Okay, so if you remember, I just added this invoice 0003 right away. So I can click on this. Now it will add the invoice over here. Okay, just to show you what it will do, if you scroll up, if you remember, we didn't have an invoice amount, so now it is automatically reflecting the $1,800 invoice which we have put over here. Okay, but we have these 3 fields blank. So once we fill up these fields, it will automatically add up to the respective areas. Okay, before I add any of these details, I want to show you one thing. So for client A, we have like 2 invoices and these are also 2 projects, and these are 2 services. Okay, so just to give a quick insight of what to expect. So if I'm heading out to client A, you can see that it is only reflecting invoice 1 and invoice 2. Okay, with the respective values over here. So what I can do is, if I'll add client A over here, okay, and once I add client A, once I jump back to the same section which we just witnessed, if you notice that invoice value is coming as $4,800, okay, which was around $3,000 as we started discussing. So once I click on this, now it shows me 3 invoices. Okay, with respective invoice status. So third invoice is having a sent status with the respective amounts being displayed. Okay, so as you keep on adding the details under this workflow, it will automatically start feeding in the information to the sections that we just covered up. Okay, so next thing is I need to add a project. So I had added project red for this demonstration, so I'm selecting project A, and the final thing that I need to do is I can add a service. Okay, so I can select any of the services over here. So let's say I'm selecting digital marketing, just as a demonstration. The one thing to note over here is I explained you the process to add everything from top and then start proceeding for adding the workflow at the bottom. It can go with the other way around as well, meaning you can click on any of this field and you can directly assign new properties over here. So let's say I want to create a new invoice right away without adding an invoice at the top. So what I can do is I can click on this and I can instantly create a new invoice. So let's say I'm creating invoice maybe 0004. Okay, so you can see that it is not displaying over here, but it is giving an option to add a new invoice over here. So I can click on this, so automatically a new invoice is added up. Meanwhile I'll remove this old invoice which is already added. So we have a new invoice added up over here. If you remember, we had not created that invoice under the invoices section. Okay, so if you see, the invoice 4 is currently under the draft status over here, so it got automatically added. Okay, so you can click this and you can put it anywhere you want to put. Okay, so let's say I'm putting it under the paid section, so it got automatically created, and just by adding information over here. Okay, so there are two ways to add stuff. My recommendation would be to add the client, project and services details from here, and invoicing details you can definitely add from here. Okay, or you can simply add stuff from here and you can quickly place each of these properties underneath the respective classifications for each of these sections. Okay, now another thing that I wanted to highlight over here is that if any invoice which has not been paid, so let's say invoice 1, 2 and 3 are not paid, these are under draft and send status. So what you can do is you can simply remove this payment mode. So payment mode means we have received the money for all this income. Now since invoice 1 and 2 we have not yet received, which is currently draft and which is currently under the draft status for invoice 1 and 2, this means the money has not come into our account. Okay, so you can simply delete this, and these will automatically get updated in the finance view for the banking calculations that we will perform. Okay, so once you receive this payment for these invoices, you can simply click here and put bank over here, and it will automatically help you in proper calculation. So let's say invoice 3, which was under sent, now it has been paid. Okay, so I'm putting it under the paid part. So this means I have received this money. Okay, so okay, maybe let's say I'm doing it for any other invoice since I've not added this invoice. So let's say invoice 2, which was under draft, it was already sent. Now it has been paid. Okay, so invoice 2, I'll refer this and I'll simply select here and I'll add bank. So this means this invoice has been paid, and that's why I put both the stuff over here. Okay, so this is how you can modify. Again, for any new added properties, you can simply click on this pencil icon and you can add all the details that you want to add. Okay, so this is how you can add invoices and how you will be able to utilize this workflow put over here, and how you can take advantage of this. Now I'll be discussing some additional stuff that we have over here under the tools section, which will help you to even help you to perform your business even better. So now we'll be discussing more on this aspect. Once we have covered up everything that we needed to discuss under the client section, we are now under the tools section. So under tools, first of all, we have resources view, which gives resources that is highly useful to you. So basically I have curated the resources under 4 categories that fall under checklists or guides or strategies or any tips. Okay, so let's say you want to create a resource which would be under the checklist category. So what you can do is you can click on this new button. As soon as you click on this, it asks you to put a name for this resource. So maybe you can put something like tax saving checklist. Okay, so I'm just putting something like tax saving checklist. Okay, then you can add any category. So once you click on this, it will ask you to enter any categories. Now notice we have like 4 categories over here: taxes, budgeting, investments and savings. So you can put any category. So let's say I'm putting it again under the taxes category, so I can simply do that. Then you can quickly add any link over here. Okay, once you do that, you can simply click on this entirely new created resource over here, and you can see more details about it. So I'll just click on this. Once I click on this, I have more information available over. Now what you can do is you can quickly add some notes over here, which would be displayed as you see on this. So what you can do is you can simply put forward slash over here, and then there are a lot of options that is visible to you. Okay, so since I want to create a checklist, okay, so what I want to do is maybe I can create a to-do list over here. As soon as I do that, it gives me a to-do list option. So once I keep typing, it gives you more options to enter more data. Okay, so you can create any kind of information inside this, and it will be visible over here to you, as we can see over here. Okay, so any kind of resource that you create, you can simply click on the resource to view more details about that. So that is how you will be able to navigate in between different resources for your business. So like, let's say we have created the documents that are required to file taxes. Okay, so I've put a link over here and I've put some information over here. So this information is visible over here. So instead of this, you can edit this information entirely, and you can use it as per your own required function. So basically we have 4 different categories under resources. So you can simply create your own resource as you wish. So now let's move into the contact section to see what you can put over here in the contact section. Meanwhile, let me delete this and let's proceed further. Now we are under the contact section under tools. So over here we have like put different contacts for different services that we're going to use from people. So I have like quickly put a few contact details under finance, under services that I'm going to take from someone, or anyone under the legal department. Okay, so you can add a quick contact under any of this section, or you can set your own sections as per your wish. So let me quickly add someone under the services category. So I click on new over here. It asks the contact details, the designation, the phone number. Okay, once you enter all this information, you can simply click on this, and you will see more information over here. Like you have the address over here, you have the email ID, you have the company name, and everything you can assign. Okay, the calendar is like the next meeting date which we have over here. So I will show this in the next section. I can hide it for the time being. So basically you can quickly create a contact catalog of all the people who are in your contacts and whom you regularly interact with, and you can keep a detail of all those people. Okay, if you want to create your own category, what you can do is you can simply click over here and you can click on this category, and it opens up this category box. So you can type your own category name, or if you want to edit the existing category, you can simply click on this and then edit the information over here, and it will automatically get edited. Okay, so I'm just removing that and I'm keeping it as it is. So this is how you can add contacts to the contact section under tools. Now we will be discussing the goals and the calendar part. So let's proceed further. Next up we have goals section, where you can specifically put some goals for what you have in your life. It can be related to your business or some other goals. So I've classified the goals under 3 categories, like health, wealth, and relationship, and I have put the goals as it is, as you can see. In order to add a new goal, simply click on your new button, and it will ask to put a goal over here. So you can put some goal. You can specify a date by when you are looking to achieve that goal, and then there is a completion percentage which I'll be explaining in a while, how it calculates. So in order to calculate the completion percentage for a goal, once you add a goal, you click on this goal, and then it will reflect two different properties, that is the target that you're looking for and the progress that you've achieved so far. Okay, so let's say over here I had written like lose 10 pounds, so my target number was 10, and let's say I've achieved a loss of 3 pounds so far. So I'll put 3 over here, and it will automatically compute the percentage over here. So likewise, you can put any kind of goal as per your choice, and it will automatically update on the basis of input that you assign inside the properties. So we have covered up the goal section. Finally, we are left with the calendar. So let me show you what it does, and we'll proceed further from that. Finally, we are under the calendar view, which displays all the meetings that are scheduled for the month. So this is a quick glance of everything that is happening in a business, and with whom you can assign meetings and look forward to connect with. So currently we are in the month of September, and you can see that today's date is September 5. So if you want to add a quick meeting, simply you need to click on this plus button over here. So let's say I'm adding a meeting on September 7, so I'll click on this plus button. Once you do that, it will ask for the title of the meeting, so you can put some meeting title over here. So let's say I'm putting meeting title. Okay, then you can specify the agenda, so you can write something in the agenda, Then you can select whether you want to have this meeting with any client or you want to have the meeting with any contact detail that you have saved. So if I want to assign any client name, you can click on this and it will automatically show the client details that you have from the client database. If you want to assign this meeting, schedule this meeting with a contact, you can click on this contact detail and it will show all the contact information. Once you do that, if you want to have both these people in the meeting, you can definitely put information in both the field. Then there is meeting medium, which specifies how you want to conduct the meeting. For timing, I have put only Google Meet. Again, you can click over here and you can edit this as per the option, or you can simply create a new medium over here. So let's say I'm putting Skype, so that can be a new medium. Okay. Once you do that, then finally we have an attachment. So this is some kind of reference document that you want to carry with the meeting. You can put a document over here, and or you can put a document by embedding the link over here. Okay, there are both options available. So once this is done, all the meeting details have filled up except the priority. You can assign the priority as per low, medium or high, or even you can edit this priority as per your choice. Okay, this can be done. So once all the information is filled, it will show the meeting details on the specific date. Okay, since we didn't fill the relevant details, it is not reflecting everything. So you can click on this meeting and you can see what is the meeting schedule for the week. So this gives you a complete overview of all the meetings that is going to happen in this month. You can edit this view as per your choice. If you want to see only a weekly view, so what you can do over here is you can click on this, then you can go with the layout and show calendar as, you can select a week. Okay, so this will only show the weekly information of what you have, and if it is not showing the current week, you can simply click on today and it will show the current week that you have. If you click on this navigation buttons, it will keep on proceeding for each week that is there in the month. Okay, so you can set this calendar in a weekly view or in a monthly view or whatever way you wish to set. So I'm putting it back to the normal view what it was, so I'm putting it on the month. So this gives you a complete monthly view of what you have in the meeting. Okay, so we have covered up everything starting from client to the tools. I hope this explanation was clear to you. Just to give you another quick review of what we discussed, under the workflow you can add all the details related to invoice, the client, the project and the services. The rest of the information is automatically picked up from the finance section that we covered up in the beginning. If you have not checked that part, you can definitely navigate to the finance section. I can see the video that is linked over there to understand more about this. Okay, so this is how you can completely manage your freelancing business through the help of both the setups. I will be adding more features in this template in the time to come, so that will be for specific businesses who are handling inventory and who have suppliers and vendors in the businesses. So that will be more comprehensive and will have a more bigger outlook on how you can do that. So for the timing, this is all that I had to discuss. I hope this made sense to you and you found some value in this. If you have any questions, do reach out to me at notionformyuse@gmail.com. I will be more than happy to answer you on this part. And that's it for now. Have a great day. Bye bye.